Wow, this is really cool. I'm going to show you a whole new method that's even better for adding data files. Hey, book digitizers, Peter here. I've got a follow-up to my most recent video that was showing you how to add related files to a book in Calibre. Long story short, it was zip up those files, drag them into Calibre. It shows up as a kind of a funny, weird book. Then merge that book with a zip file with a book that's related to those files. And sure enough, you will have sort of two versions of the book. The actual book and the zip file will have all of the related files. A very helpful listener, very helpful viewer to the channel, Richard, I won't try to pronounce your last name, Richard. I would probably just butcher it. Apologies. But Richard said that showed me a faster way, which was instead of adding and then merging, you can just directly do it. So I'm going to show you that, but more importantly, I'm going to show you a whole new method that's even better for adding data files. So let me jump over into Calibre here. So let's say I want to add my zip file to, again, we'll just use this first book as an example. What Richard pointed out was that you can go up to the Add Books menu, do the pull down, and select Add Files to Selected Book Records, or use the shortcut Shift-A. That brings up a dialog box. Let me just search for zip files, choose whichever one is handy, just as this random example. Choose that one, click Open, and sure enough, we see formats as PDF and zip. If I open up the folder where the files are stored, I can see that zip file now has been renamed in accordance with Calibre's normal file naming policy or procedure, which is book name dash author name, and that contains the Excel sheet that I wanted to add. And if I want to delete that, as we saw yesterday, it's as simple as saying remove books, remove files a specific format of selected book, select the zip, and remove it. That's fine, it works, and that's a great shortcut, and I appreciate Richard for telling me that. But he got me doing some homework. When I saw that, though, I started going through the release notes of Calibre, and back in April, which is 10 months ago now, Calibre added a much easier way to add data files or related files that doesn't even require you to zip them up, and then if you want to use them later, you'll have to unzip them. Let me show you how easy that is. So again, we'll use the same example we had before. This is just this first book in my library. Over on the Edit Metadata icon in the menu, click the down arrow, you'll see there's a Manage Data Files. If I click that, I get this little menu. Right now it's empty because there's no data files associated with that book. But I can click Add Files and go find, I don't know, let's just add a PNG file, a graphics picture. Could be an Excel document, it could be a Word document. Let's just use this as an example, this PNG, which is a picture file. It's now added there. I can close it. I can reopen that Manage Data Files. It's still in there. And if I want to open it, I can just double click from here. And because that happened to be a picture file, it just opened in my Photos app. And I believe you can change what is the default application to open that particular file type. And of course, I can remove those files. The other thing you can do is, instead of using the Add Files button, you can just use the drag and drop. So for example, if I just grab some sort of data file, let's get something that's not going to be too big. There's a file, just drag it in. There's my Excel sheet added. And I want to open that with Excel. And my data file opens. And the neat thing is, I didn't have to zip or unzip anything. And the way Calibre manages this, if we look over here, it shows folders, book files, data files. So if I look into, let's go into the book files folder. You can see there's a new folder added underneath the usual folder we see, which is in the Calibre library, author name, book name. There's a new subfolder called data. And inside that is the Excel file we added. I'm going to close that. And of course, I could jump right into that data file folder by clicking where it says data files, right in there. If I want to delete that file, I've got to go back into Manage Data Files. and from here I could remove the file. Now I have noticed what appears to be a little bug in Calibre, or maybe it's not a bug, I'm not sure if this is intentional. If I go back into the folder where the books are stored, it kept that new folder called data, even though it's now empty. Not a big deal, doesn't hurt anything, but just so you know, that is what's happening right now. Maybe it's because Calibre wasn't sure if it should delete that folder. I mean, the folder's empty, so it should be able to delete it, but whatever. I can manually delete it. I don't think it'll affect anything. The other thing is you can get to that same Manage Data Files menu from the metadata. So if you're in editing metadata for a book, now on the bottom left-hand corner, there's a button that says Data Files, and that's the same menu we saw before. And from here, I can just add some sort of file into my book. It's related now, and it is in the subfolder called Data related to that book. Wow, this is really cool. Now, the one thing I haven't been able to figure out is how I can quickly filter and show only the books that have associated data files. Maybe there's a way, I haven't figured it out. If anyone has figured it out, just let me know in the comments and maybe I'll do a video on that. I could, of course, do the trick that I used yesterday, which was to add my own column to manually keep track of that and just have a check mark for books with associated data files. That still works. It would be nice, though, if Calibre could somehow automatically filter out just those books. Hopefully, there's a way someone will show me. So anyways, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Cool new update. Yeah, it's 10 months old. I had planned to do that video I did yesterday by adding the zip file method. I've had that on my list to do for a couple of years now, so shame on me. By the time I got to it, it was already rendered moot. Hope that helps everyone. Thanks.